Well, it finally happened, folks. It finally happened. I kid you not. In its natural habitat, the all-American Pasadena's peacock out in Pasadena. I seriously never betted on it so much, sounding like a bullhorn. It really does sound like a bullhorn. I've never heard a peacock make noise before. Of course, I don't live in areas that have peacocks in them as a general rule, but my friend who lives out in Pasadena does, and this is what he saw the other day. So first of all, I didn't even know that peacocks flew. But come to find out, and after having looked it up on the internet the other day, it did say that peacocks actually do fly, and they can fly for short distances. And I'm guessing maybe to get away from prey or some kind of shit, but that's just crazy. But even still, I would not imagine this to be the peacock's natural habitat, irrespective of the peacock flying or not. It's big, it's bulky, that wire is holding the weight of that big body really well. I mean, peacocks have fat bodies, despite their little skinny necks belying all that. And I mean, even worse, if this was a set of electrical wires wherein there was 3 wires and one was directly in the center, and the peacock straddled it, as peacocks often do, to do some jazzercise or something, then the peacock would electrocute itself. And then you'd have Robert F. Kennedy Jr. coming by, scraping it up off the sideway and frying it up with a duck, or a chicken, turpecan-duckin'. That's what he would call it. All the same, I did Google it, and this is the AI overview, and while I know AI gets things wrong half the time, this one is actually correct, according to the rest of the internet, or the part of the internet that I looked up regarding peacock's flight, and it said, yes, peacocks can fly. Despite their heavy bodies and dramatic oversized tails, they are capable of short, powerful bursts of flight. While they cannot soar across the sky like eagles, they use their wings to escape predators and roost safely on high treetops. But that thing wasn't a treetop. This thing right here, unless, unless they confused it for such, but even still, you'd think it'd want to get to a safer other place. And what kind of predator would be on the sidewalk? Because this looks like it's above a sidewalk, unless it was a bratty kid, making fun of it. And also, too, I'm having trouble picturing the wings it would use for flight, because all I can picture is that big bushy tail. Let me see if I can find a peacock in flight on the internet. Ooh, it's raining. Nice. He's thinking about it. She's thinking about it. She's thinking about it. She's thinking about it. Come on, baby, let's go. Come on, you want to. Push! Whoa, I guess it does have side feathers. So cool. So despite the pretty detailed AI overview, there was actually precious little about peacocks flying on actual scientific and legit, we would say, websites. However, on Wikipedia, I did find Indian peafowl, despite the length and size of the covert feathers, the peacock covert feathers. Wow, that sounds mysterious, even though I know what they're trying to say, but it sounds like they're an undercover bird. Despite the length and size of the covert feathers, the peacock is still capable of flight. The peafowl lives mainly on the ground in open forests and blah, 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 and I couldn't find where the actual quote was when I went to the page, but then again, I only have so much time to make this video, and I really want to get it out to you guys. And then I think it's interesting that underneath Indian peafowl, it says, peafowl, male peafowl are referred to as peacocks, and female peafowl are referred to as fans. Despite this, peacock is usually used to refer to both sexes in common. Okay, so that's something we've learned today, and fans, I don't think, that's definitely not a Mandela effect, that's just my own ignorance. But you never know about peacocks flying, because maybe the peacocks flying is a Mandela effect, or maybe it's just something we learned today, and it's all in good fun. And then you got, I fucking love science. Yes, peacocks can fly. In fact, research has found that they can do it pretty well, despite having such big tails and fat bodies. Other than that, I looked up other Mandela effects featuring the peacock, and because I just wanted to see if anybody else had addressed peacocks flying as far as it being a Mandela effect. And I didn't find that. Mostly it had to do with NBC and the Peacock Network and shows that had been on the Peacock Network. But it was kind of interesting. It just basically says Mandela effect primarily refers to widespread confusion over NBC television network logo, where millions of people falsely remember the peacock's feathers facing left or possessing a distinct features like eyelashes or specific eye spots. And now that I'm reading that, that sounds familiar. Then again, I'm remembering the peacock with no side feathers, so that's just as interesting. And then it says the truth about the logo is as follows. The direction. The peacock has actually faced to the right since its debut in 1956 and its long-tenured 1986 redesign. Facing right represents looking toward the future. See, that's interesting. The colors. The feathers represent the 6 original divisions of NBC: yellow, orange, red, purple, and green. The center, the cutout in the purple feather, is actually the peacock's beak, visible when viewing the stylized silhouette of the bird's body. But aside from the TV logo arguments regarding the Mandela effect, one of the most interesting ones that I found that didn't have anything to do with the peacock logo was from this really interesting channel called The Blue Bohdi, and you guys can all go subscribe to her if you want. But she had a really, really interesting Mandela effect regarding all things peacock. Well, I should say all things peacock in the sky, which my peacock was in the sky as well, just in a different way.
A chat, because I need to know if this is a Mandela effect, if I'm just stupid, or if we're in a simulation and they're just changing shit. How many of y'all knew that there was a constellation that was a peacock? Show of hands. Let me preempt this by saying I was a huge fucking nerd for space shit when I was a kid. At 8 years old, I was handwriting letters to fucking NASA about black holes and space-time. And yes, they wrote me back. P.S. Thank you to the adult at NASA that decided to write us kids back and make us absolutely obsessed with space. But while I was outside looking at something completely different and I had my little sky map on, I noticed there's a goddamn peacock. Pavo.
So yes, Pavo is a constellation. It appeared in about 1598, and it just basically says Pavo is a constellation in the southern sky whose name is Latin for peacock. So that is pretty interesting, and you guys can look it up on Wikipedia if you are so curious. Other than that, tell me what you think, tell me what you know, and peace out.